to Boston on the train. There's something wrong with the trains. They're all delayed. Express from... What, something happened? They said it was some kind of medical emergency here this afternoon. All right. I just said express train from Boston. All right, thank you.
Well, it doesn't have suspension of the rules? No. There's no suspension of the rules? Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, under the rules, under the suspension of rules. That's just too late to go to the wake. Just watch. Don't worry about it.
She's here.
She just came in. Ready? All right. Thank you, Councilman McCarthy. I broke it. The first thing fell off.
Nice.
January 13th, 2011, a regular meeting of the City Council held in council chambers on Thursday, January 13th, 2011 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on January 6, 2011 at 5:27 p.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. Absent and excused is Councilor McCarthy. Councilor Ryan.
No, I'm here.
Excuse me. Councilor Sosnowski, excuse me, sorry about that. Council President Ryan presiding. Councilor Pinto moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. And
All those in favor?
request that everyone please rise and join Councilor McCarthy in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. President, could I just ask that we take a vote on dispensing with the reading of the record of the previous meeting? We just need to take a vote on that.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Voting on dispensing with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? Those opposed? Voted.
Thank you.
Skip that, sorry.
First bang.
Public testimony. The public testimony is not to exceed 15 minutes. Name must be on the roster for 30 minutes prior to the meeting. Agenda items only. We have the sign-up sheet. No one signed up, so there's no public testimony today. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I thank you for allowing me the first one to say thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd like to suspend the rules for personal privilege.
Councilor McCarthy would like to suspend the rules, point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I would just like to recognize the fact that our friend and colleague, Councilor Sosnowski, is not here tonight, and the fact that he's not here tonight is his brother passed away this past week. In addition to Councilor Sosnowski, the President's aunt, Louise Butler, also passed away, so I would request that we all please rise for a moment of silence and respect for those two individuals. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. Hearings? None. Appointments and reappointments?
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Kathleen McMahon to serve as the City of Salem's treasurer with a term to expire January 31st, 2013.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor McCarthy moves for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ms. McMahon is in the chamber with us tonight. Due to a scheduling conflict, she was unable to attend our last meeting in December, so actually Ms. McMahon has been acting as treasurer for the last month or so. She's enjoyed it very much, as she tells me. I had a nice conversation with her prior to the meeting, and she's looking forward to her confirmation. She has filled the vacancy created by Ann Bastide's retirement. Ms. McMahon has a vast amount of experience in finance. Her resume indicates over 20 years of experience with both public institution and municipal departments. Most recently, she's worked for the town of Middleton and the town of Wenham in the past. She has knowledge of the Munis system, which is very intricate into the position, and it's a very good appointment by the mayor. I would urge all my colleagues to vote in favor of this appointment. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other discussion? Okay, do a roll call vote.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ronan?
Yes.
Counselor Prevey?
Yes.
Counselor Pinto?
Yes.
Counselor Pelletier?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes. On the appointment of Kathleen McMahon as treasurer, 10 counselors voting in the affirmative, 1 absent. The appointment carries. Council McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would now ask for suspension of the rules to allow Kathleen to speak if she'd so like to.
Suspension of the rules.
Yes.
To let her, okay.
Good evening. I'd like to thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to not postpone, but to have this appointment at this time in comparison to the December meeting. So I would like to thank you for that consideration. I also look forward to serving the city and to do the best of my abilities in managing the monies of the city, and look forward to serving you for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further appointments, Council McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd also like to ask that a city seal be sent to Ann Bastide for all her years of service to the city. Thank you.
Further appointments and reappointments?
We have the mayor's appointment of Catherine Fabizewski to serve as the City of Salem's Assistant Treasurer with a term to expire January 31st, 2014.
Council McCarthy?
Held under the rules.
Under the rules. Okay. Further appointments and reappointments?
We have the mayor's appointment of Bonnie Selly to serve as the City of Salem's parking clerk / hearings officer with a term to expire January 31st, 2013.
Council McCarthy?
Held under the rules.
Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments?
We have the mayor's reappointment of the following to serve as constables with the following terms to expire. James Barina, term to expire January 3rd, 2014. George Curran, term to expire January 1st, 2014. Fostis Places, term to expire January 6th, 2014.
Council Lovely?
Move they be received and placed on file.
Communications from the mayor?
Need a vote.
Need a vote on that one? Okay. Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? So voted. Communications from the mayor?
We have an appropriation of $24,867.90 from Retirement Stabilization Fund Vacation Sick Leave Buyback Account to be expended for the retirement of Lorraine Jackson from the library.
Council McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for suspension of the rules.
Council McCarthy asks for suspension of the rules. Any objections? Okay.
I further ask that this matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance for their review.
Okay, Council McCarthy asks to have this matter referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance. Under discussion?
No discussion.
No discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Further communications from the mayor?
We have a transfer of $15,000 from retained earnings water fund to Public Services Water Overtime Account.
Council McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Council McCarthy moves it be referred to Committee on Administration and Finance. Under
No discussion.
No discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $5,000 from fund balance free cash to city council advertising account.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Council McCarthy asks for suspension of the rules. Any objections? None? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I further ask that this matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Okay, Council McCarthy wants to refer to Committee on Administration and Finance.
No discussion.
Discussion?
No discussion, Mr. President.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Further communications from the mayor.
We have a transfer of $1,000 from Receipts Reserve Harbor Master to Harbor Master Gas/Oil Heat account.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that this matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance for their review.
Council McCarthy asks to move this matter into Administration and Finance. Any
No
objections? No discussion, okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Further communications from the mayor?
We have a resolution to the Massachusetts School Building Authority Statement of Interest form for the Salem High School.
Council Pelletier.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask this to be moved for adoption by roll call vote.
Council Pelletier asks for adoption by roll call vote. Do we need three hands or? Okay, we don't, okay.
If it's printed on there, Mr. President, you don't need it.
Okay, thank you, Council. Okay, so move adoption by roll call vote. Okay, we do the roll call vote.
Should we read the resolution? Discussion.
We'll read, you're gonna, under discussion, sorry.
No discussion, we discussed this already. Mr. President, I think we went through this in detail already at the last meeting in December. Anybody have any questions?
Councilor
Thank
Pinto.
thank you, Mr. President. I don't recall us discussing it. I think this came in last week, I believe. We had discussed, we had talked about the bonding, I believe, for the schools. We had not discussed the statement of interest. I think the mayor sent us a memo on this last week, so we haven't had any open discussion about it as a council.
This is,
Okay.
Mr.
Council McCarthy.
pretty much a
Thank you, Mr. President. What's in front of us is a resolution that was, it mirrors the resolution that was adopted by the school department, the school committee at their last meeting. Basically, the two projects that we have going on right now that we've bonded some money for studies are the project at the Collins and the project at Saltonstall. Basically, for the next round of grants that are available from the state requires that the school committee in this body as well adopt a resolution that would basically states that the school committee feels that this phase 2 of the Salem High School project would be the next project that the city would be looking to do. So the school committee adopted a similar resolution. So what we're looking to do is to adopt this resolution tonight, which mirrors the resolution that was adopted by the school committee, so that they can get into the next round of grant funding for the state with regards to any potential monies that may be available for that project. So that's what's in front of us right now is this resolution. I'm not sure if anyone wants this read into the record. I'm sure Councilor Pelletier will be more than happy to read it into the record, but if not, that's what the resolution's for, so.
Okay, Council Pelletier.
I move to waive the reading.
Council Pelletier moves to waive the reading,
Seconded.
seconded by Council Ronan.
Thank you, Counsel.
All those in favor? Move, roll call vote.
Now what?
3 hands.
No, it's already on.
Counselor Sargent,
Yes.
Counselor Ronan,
Yes.
Counselor Prevey,
Yes.
Counselor Pinto,
Yes.
Counselor Pelletier,
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Lovely,
Yes.
Counselor Fury,
Yes.
Counselor Ryan.
Yes. Adoption of the resolution, the Mass School Building Statement of Interest form. 10 councilors voting. 10 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The matter carries. At this time, I just want to recuse myself. Actually, further communications from the mayor.
We have a home rule petition to the general court for conversion of existing seasonal liquor licenses to a year-round license and to establish up to 3 new licenses for new or existing entities.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll have Councilor O'Keefe.
Well, Mr. President, I would like to ask questions on this too, so how would you like to handle it? I'll go up and relieve you, so you can come down here, and then you'll go back, and
I need to leave the chamber.
you need to leave the chamber.
Right.
Well, I would defer
take
to
over.
someone else to go up, because I want to ask questions about
Councilor
this.
McCarthy?
Thank you, sir.
Councilor McCarthy, was from the chair. Thank you.
Seems like only yesterday.
Thought you weren't going to come down.
Attorney
Too
for
bad.
us.
Is this going to committee?
Mr. President. Council Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
Under discussion, we haven't really had an opportunity to look at it. I know it was brought into City Council in the December meeting. It was objected to, which couldn't be brought up at that time anyway. It hasn't gone to committee. It needs to go to committee. We have the home rule petition criteria in that committee. I'm going to schedule a meeting fairly soon on it, but I think that's the appropriate committee that it goes into, co-posted with the committee of the whole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. I had a discussion with the mayor sometime in December about this matter. And I firmly expressed to her my desire to have the licensing board establish a date certain that so-called pocket licenses would be voted against or withdrawn or what have you. Now, I don't know how many there are. There was, I think, 1 or 2 so-called pocket licenses, and one of them has been like 2 years. And she gave me the impression that the licensing board was going to have some timetable as to establishing a date, 6 months, a year, what have you, that would be settled. If they didn't have some action within that period of time, they'd lose a license. So I think that should be part of any resolution of this matter. We should not allow these so-called pocket licenses to be kept by the licensing board, be given out willy-nilly whenever they want. And I'd like to have the committee address that issue with the licensing board as to what is their procedure, what have they established, what is the criteria they have established to handle these licenses that are so-called pocketed, they're not used. One particular license isn't even a building for it. So I'd like to know what the procedure is. And the mayor knows my position on the matter. I'm not going to approve this until it's settled.
Thank you, Council. I'm sure that the wisdom of the Committee on Administration and Finance will take that matter up. Any further discussion?
Cola.
Oh, Cole, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I moved. Council Pinto.
Thank you, Mr. President. Briefly, Council, it was my understanding, I actually talked with some people. I actually talked to a person that was on the licensing board in Peabody, and he told me that pocket licenses by law couldn't be held longer than 6 months, that they didn't, that's the way they do it in Peabody. So we've definitely got some work to do. I don't know if that's, I'm just telling you, I've been talking to different people. This person happens to be on the licensing board, and that's what he told me, that it was 6 months, but that's what they went by.
I'm sure that we can vet this all out during committee. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Council Pelletier.
I would just ask the chair to, Ordinance License and Legal Affairs, to invite the licensing board in for that meeting, so my fellow council from Ward 7 can have his way
Mr. President.
with them.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Through you. Mr. President, members of the council, I believe the council should have a written statement from the licensing board, that's the way it's going to be. Not, we have some understanding, and, no, there's gonna be, and I read in the paper, Danvers was doing it, that there's a certain period of time that if it's not acted on, then they'll give them one extension for another 6 months, and that's it. I don't want this to be coming back and forth to the council here off and on. Well, we don't have in writing, adopted by the board of licensing board, that there's a period of time that if they don't take action, they lose.
Thank you, Council.
Well, they know my position.
Seeing none, on Councilor Lovely's recommendation, this matter be sent to the Committee on License Orders, Legal Affairs, co-posted to the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? All those opposed?
That's going to be a good one.
Council President can now return.
Welcome back, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy.
I think, oh, that's gotta be state regulated.
Mayor's informational page. None. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Sergeant.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, January 13th, year 2011, ordered that the Committee on Government Services, co-posted with Committee of the Whole, meet to discuss the concerns of the neighborhood groups with regard to snow removal and any options that might be available to help them improve the process. And that the following be invited: DPW Director, Building Inspector, City Solicitor, and members of the Association of Salem Neighborhood Associations, ASNA. And that this meeting be scheduled as soon as possible. On discussion.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is something, Councilor Sosnowski was at this meeting of the Neighborhood Associations, and he's not able to be here tonight. So I'm bringing this in for him, but it's nothing really new when it comes to winter time, and especially seeing we had 2 big storms to start the winter season. And I'm sure the typical things of, you know, sidewalks, and then different places pushing or dumping their snow onto the sidewalks, and those kind of things will come up. And so I'm bringing this in for Council Sosnowski, and we'll ask Government Services to have a meeting on that, please.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you.
And further discussion, Councilor Ronan?
Yes, Mr. Ryan. I think this is a good idea that we have this discussion and have it now as early as we can. In my ward, there's a parking lot. It's across from Pioneer Terrace. And originally, the city thought it was the housing authority that was taking care of the parking lot, and the housing authority thought it was the city. So I've had a heck of a time trying to get that parking lot plowed. The last storm, it took 6 days to get the parking lot plowed. This time it was plowed, although not perfectly, in a day's time. But I'm sure that in each ward we have those type of issues, and I think that Government Services should be talking about this right now so that we can avoid any further problems. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilor Pelletier, then Councilor Lovely.
Is this going to Government Services?
It's going to Government Services. Councilor Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, after the last 2 storms, I received calls as well, and it would be good to try to get a handle on a couple of things. Where the city plows, and then commercial, plow drivers, where they're plowing to as well, where they're removing snow, where snow can go. Also, I wanted to give some credit to Beverly McSwiggan. She had emailed some photographs of sidewalks that didn't get plowed, and boy, there's a lot of them. And a lot of them actually abut, vacant land, but privately vacant land. And so people that own this land need to know that even if you don't live there, you've got to clear your sidewalks. So somehow we've got to get the word out. And I don't know if we have to do a mailing or what, or in a water bill or something, but the word's got to get out, what the ordinance is, what the fine is, and that these people have got to make arrangements to remove the snow and remove it properly. Don't make it someone else's problem, because those are the types of calls we get. So I look forward. I'll come to this meeting. Is that co-posted with the Committee of the Whole? Yes. Okay. I'll be at that meeting. Thank you.
President Ryan.
Councilor McCarthy, then Councilor Creevy, Councilor O'Keefe.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too look forward to this meeting because, as I'm sure we all did, we got numerous phone calls with regard to the snow removal. I just want to make a note that I think that the DPS and their contractors did as best they could with a very difficult situation, the amount of snow we've had. But I think also that this committee should, one of the things that has come to light recently is the fact that the state legislature has passed a new law. And the new law requires that all sidewalks be cleared 6 hours after the storm is declared over. So, which I think goes very well to what Councilor Lovely has to say. There's a lot of properties where people have, they have a vacant lot, or they're looking maybe to build a house or whatever, and they own a piece of property. I know I'm dealing with one particular in the downtown, that walk has to be cleared within 6 hours. And especially in the areas where they travel, you want to keep the pedestrians off the street and on the sidewalk where they can be safe. So I think it is, I agree with Councilor Ronan, it is a good time to bring it in. let's heighten some awareness about this issue and make people out there. I mean, I've had numerous conversations with a bunch of different, we don't want to fine people for not removing snow. We're not in the business of just running around and writing out tickets for people not removing snow. What we want to do is make sure that they're aware of the fact that the snow has to be removed and it should be removed. And if we have to write a ticket, we will. But by no means I don't want to like have anyone at home think that, oh, we're just going to start writing out tickets for everybody. We have that ability, and it's in the ordinance, but I think that we want to make sure that the people are aware of the fact that these walks need to be cleared so the pedestrians can be safe. Thank you.
Councilor Creevy?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do want to recognize Tom St. Pierre, the building inspector, because I know in the last storm when some of those vacant commercial properties had not been adequately taken care of in terms of snow removal from the sidewalks, he did send out fines to a couple of them. There was repeat fines that were sent to him. In addition to that, because the city council had changed the ordinance relative to that by increasing the fines from $25 to $50, he has been sending out copies of the ordinances along with the fines that were issued. So people are made well aware of it right now. So hopefully that will be sufficient deterrent for people to take care of this going forward through the winter. So far, everything that I can tell, he's been good about staying on top of that. So I would suggest my colleagues to contact him if there was any issues. Thank you.
Councilor O'Keefe?
Thank you, President Ryan. Members of the council, I just took the train back to Salem, and I walked up to the city hall. You know, I explained it was delayed and what have you. The sidewalk around the courthouse on Washington Street was beautiful. And then I walked across the street, and there was an opening in front of the Tabernacle Church, and very nicely plowed, and I went up, and at the end of this sidewalk at the Tabernacle Church, there's a snowbank. To go further, to go where Dunkin' Donuts is, I had to walk out in the street. So here in the neighborhoods are fine, but right in the business district, why should we have to step out in the street to go? So, I mean, I'm assuming that a series of lawyers own that. That used to be the old bus terminal when I was a youngster, many, many years ago. That was Eastern Mass Street Railway over there. Many will remember that. No, not many. Kathleen, you remember. Okay. But, I mean, it applies to the neighborhood, applies to downtown, too. Thank you. Mr. President?
Just, thank you,
Council
Mr. President. Briefly,
Councilor Pelletier.
no, it's definitely something we have to take up, but I'll tell you about one of the calls I got. And one of the calls I got said, why am I going to get fined for not shoveling my sidewalk if the city doesn't shovel their sidewalk? And that's not a slight on DPS. They do a phenomenal job with what they have, shorthanded storm. But on the other side of the coin, yeah, we want to get a grip on it, but, you know, how do you go about sending out notices to these people and actually trying to enforce a fine when the city itself does not clear its own sidewalk? So that's just something to think about. I'm not, and that is not a slight. I mean, the DPS was super last time around. I drive a truck for a living. I was in all different communities this past storm, and Salem was second to none. I mean that. I go Danvers, Middle, I'm all over. Salem was great, down to the tar this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Pelletier?
Thank you, Mr. President. As most of you know, I'm out here during these snowstorms. And the first storm of the year, I talked to the mayor about these 21 e-tickets, all right? But Tom St. Pierre is only one guy. He was out there this time running clear across the city. He had more calls than he could deal with. But the police also need to be doing this. So I was talking with the chief and Tom St. Pierre before this meeting, about 2 hours ago, and the police will get a copy of the ordinance, and they will be enforcing this ordinance. Because Tom, he finds it a little tough right now. If you got these tough plow drivers out there, you know, they're mad, they're tired, they don't want a ticket from Tom. But a cop, and another, you know, it's everywhere. It's blatantly, everybody just does it, and including some of our residents. I got a call before our meeting tonight from a constituent who lives on Ocean Ave West, who just happens to be a relative of one of my colleagues, and he says he never calls, never complains, and the snow in Ocean Ave West is 6 feet deep right now. So I went down there and I look at his neighbor 2 doors down. The neighbor has no snow on his sidewalk in front of his house, no snow. I said, well, why don't you go 2 doors down and talk to your neighbor? I'll talk to them too. But it's blatant, you know? They think the plows are gonna, or the cars are gonna wash away. It doesn't happen. If you have room to stack it, you gotta stack it, all right? Council Lovely and I were discussing this earlier. Well, what if you have a house close to the street and you don't have a sidewalk? Well, then we can make certain issues on that. You know, make,
Exception.
what would you call it? But make an amendment on it, you know? But I'm telling you, it's so blatant out there. People shoveling their driveways, they're throwing back out in the street, figuring a plow's gonna take it down to some other neighbors. Well, guess what? They only plow for a certain amount of time, and you come out in the morning, the plows aren't gonna be back. So, it needs, the 21E needs tickets, needs police enforcement. They're out there, all right? If Public Works gets a call, especially a lot of these contractors. I have an issue down near the post office, not this storm, but the prior storm. One business was throwing it all his snow across the street. His parking lot was empty. Police went down there, didn't cite him, did nothing. Well, magically, later on that evening, all the snow magically appeared back in his lot. I don't know how it happened. I got a call. I knew nothing about it, but, you know, I think that's the way it's gonna be. But everybody's gotta take personal responsibility, all right? For themselves, for the house. So we'll discuss that and maybe increase the fines again. You know, hit them in the pocketbook. That seems to work.
Sure, it'll be a well-attended meeting. Councilor Sargent?
Thank you. I'll try to be quick, Mr. President, but any system we come to has to be fair and equitable. We can't have a situation like last winter when Councilor Sosnowski had a constituent down on a side street off East Collins Street where a man come out of the hospital a few days before with a heart problem or a stent, and somebody called on him and he got fined for not shoveling the sidewalk. When in order to get there, you have to drive by 100 worse offenders to get there. Only because they're bigger lots, the businesses would be the bigger offenders. And not shoveling is one thing, but using a plow or a front end loader to push or pick up snow and dump it on the city sidewalk. You just have to take a lap up Jefferson Avenue and down Canal Street, and I won't name the names of the businesses, to see piles 10 feet tall on city sidewalks. Now, it didn't snow that deep, and it didn't snow that hard packed on the city sidewalk. And it doesn't take a lot to see that, even though you didn't see them doing it, somebody did it. And it's being done year after year, storm after storm, and we have to go after the more serious offenders first, and we also have to make sure all of our sidewalks are clear first. But we can't be going after a 70, 80-year-old man who's just had a heart operation and seeing, you know, 100, 200 worse offenders not even get talked to. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, on Councilor Sargent's order to send the discussion concerning snow removal to government services, co-posted with the committee on whole. All those in favor? Opposed? Passes. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Ordered that the monthly financial report dated November 30th, 2010 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance for their review.
Councilor McCarthy moves to put the monthly financial report dated November 30th, 2010, excuse me, placed on file. Any discussion?
No discussion, Mr. President.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Ordered that the year-to-date budget report dated November 30th, 2010 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Councilor McCarthy orders that the year-to-date budget report dated November 30th, 2010 placed on file. Or
Referred to the Committee on
referred to Committee
Administration.
on Administration and Finance.
Thank you, Mr.
Under
President.
discussion?
No discussion, Mr. President.
No discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Order that the year-to-date budget report dated December 31st, 2010 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Councilor McCarthy orders that the year-to-date budget report dated December 31st, 2010 be referred to Administration and Finance.
Yes, under discussion,
Under
Mr. President.
discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only thing I'm going to have to say is to my fellow committee members, if that the city clerk provides me this copy that I then pass down to her, that becomes part of the record. The Finance Committee, every member of my committee is given a copy of these three items that just get referred to committee. if we could just make sure that my committee, at the request of the city clerk, brings those copies to the meeting that we have, to reproduce these documents numerous times is just a big expensive paper, so if we review them, just to make sure that, that my committee knows that when they come to the next committee meeting, we are not going to have copies of this, because we all just received copies on our desk. So I just ask that our committee members bring those to the next meeting when we review these. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Council McCarthy. Okay. All those, in favor of moving the year-to-date budget report dated December 31st to Administration and Finance? Opposed? Further motion, orders, and resolution. Council Ronan.
In the year 2011, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap limited time, be it ordered by the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Holly Street, beginning at a point 20 feet from Lafayette Street for a distance of 20 feet along property line of 236 Lafayette Street, a handicapped parking zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by the city charter.
Thank you, Councilor Ronan. Under discussion?
Yes. This is to add a handicapped parking space for a resident in my ward who lives at 236 Lafayette Street. She asked me if I would see if I could get her a handicapped parking spot. I did run this by Lieutenant Przewski, who has recommended that we adopt for first passage tonight this ordinance, which would provide just one handicap parking spot. So I'd move for first passage.
Any further discussion? Okay, Council Ronan moves for first passage, an ordinance amending traffic handicap parking on Holly Street. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, in the year 2011, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time. Be ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Dunlap Street, beginning at a point 20 feet from Mason Street, along the property line of 48 Mason Street, for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter.
Thank you, Council Prevey. Under discussion?
Briefly, Mr. President, resident who lives on the corner of Mason and Dunlap Street is currently, is now, unfortunately, has to undergo dialysis and has had that going on for a while. Parking on Dunlap Street has been increasingly become a challenge, so the residents there, the family actually of this particular resident reached out to me, and I had Lieutenant Przewski go out, and he approved it, so I'd ask my colleagues to support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Prevey. Any other discussion? Okay, on first move for adoption, first passage, ordinance amending handicap, traffic handicap parking on Dunlap Street. All those in favor? Opposed? Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Council Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, in the year 2011, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Granite Street in front of number 8 for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter.
Thank you, Council Prevey. Under discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. Briefly, the handicap parking that is being requested is actually for a minor child who I believe was born with certain birth defects and has ongoing issues. So the parents reached out to me, and certainly Lieutenant Przewski signed off on this as well. So I'd ask my colleagues for support. Thank you.
Council Prevey. Any other discussion? Okay, on first passage of an ordinance amending traffic handicap parking on Granite Street. All those in favor? Opposed? Carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, I'd like to introduce an order requesting action from the legislature. And after I read briefly what it is, I'd ask Kathy Burke to have council permission to come up and speak about this issue which we put in every year, and Councilor Lovely was very instrumental last year And when we enacted this, and she brought it to the mayor, also was in favor of this particular position. So let me just read what this act is all. It's a special legislation for the city of Salem. This is the City Council, January 13, 2011. Authorizing the city of Salem to petition the legislature for authority to adopt protections by commercially involved housing. Whereas the city of Salem desires to adopt such protection for governmentally involved housing, and whereas the city of Salem is petitioning the general court for passage of legislation authorizing such a change, and whereas a majority of vote approval of the city council is required for the filing of such petition, we ask that this be done. In other words, this keeps people that are in government financed apartments and buildings at the rate that they particularly have now, and it doesn't put them out in the particular street. And I'd like to ask unanimous consent of the City Council to ask Kathleen Burke, whose brother was a retired member of the Salem Fire Department, Trigger Burke, if she could come up, with council permission, to speak about the merits. We do this every year, but for some reason the legislature doesn't take it up and act on it, so we have to do it, we have to file it every year again. We did it last year, this council approved it, if you recall, and we'd like to do it again this year. It died in committee. So with permission of the City Council, I'd ask Kathleen Burke. She lived in Ward 7 at one particular time. Now she lives in Ward 2. And the council from Ward 2 is not here tonight, and I was going to ask him to do it too. But Council Lovely might want to say something. She's very familiar with this particular. Well, let's hear from Kathleen. Permission first for
Under discussion.
Kathleen to speak, if approved.
Move for suspension of the rules, Mr.
Move
President.
suspension of the rules, Council Brady.
I'll ask
The rules.
all in favor?
All those in favor? Oh. You can come up to the microphone, please.
Hello, thank you for listening. My name is Kathleen Burke. I wasn't planning on coming here to speak. I just wanted to see how my petition is going. I just wanted to say that Salem has always been in the forefront of public housing, affordable housing, and Salem should be proud of this. And I thank you for last year, and hopefully again this year. We're getting more cities involved with the home rule petition. Basically, it's to provide some sort of, it's so complicated, it's to provide some sort of safety net for people in public housing, HUD housing. So if you mark up to market, people are not going to be on the street. And it has nothing to do with Salem paying for more, it has nothing to do with more money from the city of Salem. This is all through the federal government. There's a lot of, different sections. I don't even know some of them. It's just very confusing. But it is legislation that we've been fighting for. I have a meeting with Senator Barry on Tuesday, and he's always on board with us, and he knows that you're putting this to a vote for the city. Lawrence, I believe, just passed it. So there are other cities that are doing this as well. Hopefully you will vote yes. Basically, it is to sustain the nature of Salem. It's not, one size fits all city, and it's to maintain the flavor of the city, such as affordable housing. So, thank you.
Councilor Pelletier.
I'd just like to thank Ms. Burke, because I sit on the Affordable Housing Trust Fund with her. She's very passionate about what she does. And also, her dad served with my dad on the city council back then. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Councilor Lovely?
Just quickly, Mr. President, this is legislation that's important to keep affordable housing affordable in our city. We have to do it by home rule petition to the legislature. We did this last year. It's important that we continue to protect the citizens that need affordable housing in our community. And I support us sending this back to the legislature this year. Thank you.
Thank you,
This
Councilor
year's
Lovely.
2010 to the...
Further discussion?
Yeah, well, blue or green, whatever the hell it is.
None?
Roll call vote?
Move for adoption by roll call
Roll
vote?
call, Mr. President, please.
Give them some leeway.
Counselor Sargent,
Yes.
Ronan,
Yes.
Counselor Prevey,
Yes.
Counselor Pinto,
Yes.
Counselor Pelletier,
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy,
Yes.
Counselor Lovely,
Yes.
Counselor Fury,
Yes.
Counselor Ryan.
Yes. The resolution petition the General Court of Legislation to adopt protection for governmentally involved housing. 10 councilors voting in the affirmative, 1 absent. Motion carries. Counselor O'Keefe?
Remarks, Mr. President? Point of personal privilege.
Move for immediate reconsideration.
Move. Counselor O'Keefe?
Is all set with the council?
Move for immediate reconsideration.
No, move for
Okay.
immediate reconsideration. I hope it will not prevail.
And Counselor O'Keefe moves for immediate reconsideration, hopes it does not prevail. All those in favor? Opposed?
Opposed. Mr. President,
Counselor O'Keefe?
point of personal privilege. I also, Council Pelletier, would like to note that there were 2 Burkes running at one time when I was in the city council with her father, and one was John V. Burke, and one was John H. Burke. And there were 2 Burkes running for city council, for at-large. Her father was council at-large at the time. And, see, I sort of forgot that. He's sort of the council of Ward 3 is just twisting me a little bit since it's my birthday, but I'm gonna, John H. Burke and John B. Burke. And I know the difference, yes, ma'am, I know, and Trigger Burke I know too. And the sisters and everything else. Ward 3 forever. Coutman Street, thank you.
I apologize to my fellow councilors for opening up that bag of worms.
Thank you.
Further
Took down
motions,
memory
orders,
lane.
and resolutions? Anyone else? Going once, twice, all right, next. Committee reports? Council Lovely?
Mr. President, City of Salem and City Council, January 13, 2011. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, to whom is referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and would recommend the approval of seaworms, secondhand clothing, secondhand valuables, and tag days.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is pretty, routine. We did divide the question. I'll be letting the council know the second part of the vote, but we did approve these particular licenses. Seaworms, secondhand clothing, secondhand valuables, and tag days.
Okay, all those to accept the report? All those in favor? Opposed? Report accepted. Adoption on the recommendation? All those in favor? Motion carries.
Further, Mr. President?
Further committee reports?
We actually, in committee, we divided out that also part of the granting certain licenses was for public guides, and we actually currently have in committee an order to take a look at the public guide ordinance. So we opted to have public guides remain in committee until such time that we have an opportunity in the next couple of weeks to take a look at the public guide ordinance to see if we want to make some changes before we grant these public guide licenses.
Okay. Do we have to accept that second report?
Yes.
Because you broke,
Yeah.
accept the report. All those in favor? Adoption on the recommendation. All those in favor? Opposed? None? Further committee reports?
No further reports, Mr. President.
Council McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, January 13, 2011. The Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation in the amount of $10,000 from the retained earnings water fund to the public services water overtime, has considered this matter and will recommend that the matter remains in committee.
Under discussion?
On discussion briefly, through an error, the director of DPS was not invited to the meeting that we had this past Monday, and therefore we'll just keep that in committee. Actually, there's another matter that just got referred to committee that pertains to the exact same issue, so that we'll have them in once and talk about it, and we'll refer it out at the next meeting. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Council McCarthy. Any further discussion? None? On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? Opposed? Further committee reports? Council McCarthy, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, January 13, 2011. The Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation in the amount of $300,000 $244 from the general fund balance reserve for free cash to the stabilization fund in the amount of $150,122, and to the capital improvement fund for the same amount, $150,122, has considered said matter and would recommend for approval.
Discussion.
Under discussion, thank you, Mr. President. The Committee on Administration and Finance met on Monday. We're right at it, right after the first year. We're charging right into it and digging into these financial matters at your request, Mr. President. And basically, we had the Finance Director in, Mr. Visquet, who told us that just recently our city's free cash was certified, and under the financial policies that has been adopted by his department, that he move 20% into each of these funds as to their policy. It's a policy they set up, and it reduced the balance in free cash down, and the next orders come in. One is relative to free cash. There was discussion whether or not he felt comfortable with the amount of free cash that we had left, and he said yes, so the committee voted unanimously to approve.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. Any further discussion? Acceptance of the report. All those in favor? Opposed? Adoption of the recommendation. All those in favor? Opposed? Further committee reports. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. The City of Salem City Council, January 13th, 2011, the committee to whom was referred, the Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation in the amount of $250,000 from the capital outlay renovation and repair to be expended for the wharf project at Blaney Street, has considered said matter and recommend approval.
The discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Basically, this matter and the matter that I will read into the record next, we had, on the meeting on Monday, which the Finance Director was there, we also had Kathy Wynn from the Planning Department and Ron Bourne from Bourne Engineering, who came in and gave, a presentation with regard to the wharf project. Basically, the city's received a bunch of grants over the years. Most recently, one of the last grants we received was the DOT grant, which is from the Department of Transportation, which requires a match. The city is required to match a certain percentage of the funds. I believe in this case it was a 20% match, of which the city is required to have that money in place. The DOT grant is for phase 2 of the Blaney Street project. That part of the project has not gone out for bid yet. That's part of the ferry discretionary fund, of which that will be going out for bid sometime in the future. But right now, they came in and talked about the wharf project because some of the other grant money that's out there that doesn't require a match is in front. The purchasing department put out a RFP for the Blaney Street project, and the bids were actually due in today. I called over, and because of the snowstorm, they have delayed the opening of the bids until Tuesday, at which time we'll know how we're going to stand and move forward. We talked about the financing and whether the money was available. Obviously, this money is coming out of the stabilization fund. The stabilization fund, as the order we just passed, we moved some money into that fund. There was a healthy balance in that fund, which allowed the mayor to be able to recommend that the money, this portion, be removed from this fund. And then she also has the order, which I'll read it next, that we'll move some money of another fund, which will cover a percentage of our match. Won't get us all the way there, but it should put us enough that the Department of Transportation will then be able to certify moving forward that we have the money in place to move forward with the next phase. But I know I can speak for everyone. I can't speak for everyone, but I know I speak for myself, and the committee voted unanimously for this, and the committee understood that the wharf project is a very key project to the revitalization of the waterfront. It's been one of these projects that's been in the discussion stages for a long time. Dominion came to the plate most recently to sell us the project, the pier land, the Blaney Street land, of which now the city is in a better position to apply for more grants. This has been a project that's been ongoing and been in discussions for a long time, and this is phase 1, which is just went off a bid. This is what we're matching here is phase 2, but phase 1 will be to bring the infrastructure in and get the whole place with a nice coat of hot top, and then hopefully towards the end of the year or next year, they can put in a cantilevered walkway and do some pier work. So I would urge all my colleagues to approve. Thank you.
Further discussion, Council Fieri, then Council Rowan.
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow members. This is an excellent investment in the future of the city of Salem. It's the first installment, the first chapter of a new life for the our oldest frontier being the newest frontier. 50 years ago, next Thursday, January 20th, is the anniversary of President Kennedy's inauguration, and he called for a new frontier. And that new frontier involved the space program and other major investments. And who'd ever believe, 50 years ago, the space investment, first astronaut, Alan Shepard into space, John Glenn around the globe itself, all the things that we have in front of us, from our glasses, to the pens, the plastics that we have, the computers that we have, started off with an investment by our 35th president. This is an investment to Salem's future. Even though we're in a perfect storm economy now, coming out of a perfect storm economy, this investment that we're doing now is a placement into the future of Salem, an investment into the future of Salem. And who's to believe maybe 5, 10 years down the line, the cruise ships, the opportunity of Derby Street, the whole city of Salem, reinvigorating the maritime, the ocean, which is our 495, our 95, our 128 now for the 21st century. The oldest frontier will turn into the newest frontier by this investment. So I hope the whole city council will vote unanimously for this investment into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Fieri. Council Ronan.
Yes, Mr. President. I think I'm gaining the reputation of being very tight on the administration and finance. I am trying to guard every dollar that the city spends. However, I listened to Jim McAllister give a talk about Salem on Tuesday, and he talked about the great investments that were made in Salem over the past, and in terms of establishing public parks and public lands. I see this as an enormous investment. This appropriation of $250,000 and the one that will follow of $150,000 is $400,000 that the city is now committing towards Blaney Street. But as I mentioned in the Administration and Finance Committee meeting, this is for a real asset for the city. The city is going to get out of this, hopefully, a fabulous asset, a pier that ultimately, after, we're talking about the first couple of phases now. Phase 1 is just the parking lot, conduits, electric lines, water in the seaside. Phase 2, which we're coming up with the match for, really starts to build this wharf out into the Salem Harbor. But what we're talking about when this is finished is a finished pier that will host cruise ships, that will actually attract a lot of tourism into the city of Salem. It'll be an investment that we'll look back on, as council members, long after we've served our time here, and be proud that we actually, voted in favor of spending this particular money. This is something that the city of Salem is going to have for generations to come. It's certainly worth the appropriation of $250,000 for this first bill and the $150,000 that'll follow. It's money that I truly believe is wisely spent by the city of Salem at this time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Council Ronan. Council Pinto.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't know where anyone's getting the word that the Ward 5 councilor is tight on administration and finance. I don't know where that's coming from, but it was a good meeting. It was very complicated to see how some of this money worked and how we had a match. It was very informational. George Atkins was here from the Salem Partnership, and he had spoke how you get momentum, you keep it going. And I remember when Blaney Street was nothing. It was just and Hawthorne Cove was just a red shack with an H and a C on it. It was just absolutely nothing. And I supported it, and I said I supported it reluctantly because it's a lot of money. It is an investment, no doubt about that. It is an investment. But at a time when times are tough, it's hard to really see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're putting out $400,000, possibly with another $232,000. We're going to try to get grant money for that, but that might also be money we have to put on top of that. So like I said, I do think it's an investment. I agree with Councilor Ronan. It is an investment. It's just that I think of us sitting here 4 or 5 months from now in budget time, and we're going to be looking across the aisle from each other, and we're going to be going like this, we got no money. So, you know, it's a little bit of a balance. Like I said, I reluctantly approved it. I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to have a lot of positives. But it was very informational. It's very kind of complicated as how the grants work. Some come in, we get it all. Some come in, we have to match. But, you know, the administration's done a great job going out getting grants. And like you said, the waterfront is vital. And my other concern was Derby Street. You know, we had National Grid in here not long ago, a month, 2 months ago, and we know they're running a line from the substation in front of Dominion all the way down Derby Street over to Canal Street. Now, the time frame, I don't know, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Discussion? Okay, on acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? Opposed? Further committee reports, Council McCarthy?
Madam City Clerk, does that require a roll call vote? That previous order? No. Okay, thank you. City of Salem City Council, January 13, 2011. The Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation in the amount of $150,000 from balance reserve for the appropriation free cash to the Blaney Street project grant, has considered this matter and recommend for approval.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. Basically, we just had the discussion. It's another part of the match that's required for the Department of Transportation grant that we received. I don't need to rehash what was just said. We had a very lively discussion, very informative. And I just want to assure the at-large council that happens to live in Ward 1 that the Ward 1 council is very in tune to what is going to be happening down on Derby Street. And I want to make sure everyone on Derby Street realizes that I haven't been to a meeting where the discussion of the conduits or Blaney Street hasn't come up in the last, even prior to myself being elected, hasn't said, you know, even with as far back as when we were doing the harbor plan was, I understand this is a great thing for the city of Salem, but how are we going to address the infrastructure issues with regard to Derby Street, with regard to period lighting, handicap access, sidewalk accessibility, the whole gamut. So I just want to assure that the at-large council, that the Ward 1 council is on top of that, and I would I encourage all my the members to vote in favor of this appropriation as regards to the prior discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Council McCarthy. Discussion on acceptance of the report. All those in favor? Opposed? On adoption of the recommendation. All those in favor? Opposed? Further committee reports?
I'm all set, Mr. President.
None? Okay. Communications from city officials? None. Petitions?
We have a request from the North Shore Medical Center to hold their annual cancer walk and 5K road race and the closing of Derby and Lafayette Streets on June 26, 2011.
Council McCarthy?
I'll defer to Councilor Pelletier.
Councilor McCarthy can have it. It's going through his ward.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you, Mr. No, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
5 council wants peace.
Yes. I rise in support of this request from the North Shore Medical Center. It's their annual cancer walk. They do a fabulous job every year, raising countless of thousands of dollars for the cancer research. It happens to start in Ward 1, even though the medical center is located in Ward 3. And it goes through my ward as well as Ward 5. This route has been approved many times in the past by the police department. It has their blessings. In addition to their regular walk, they've added a 5K road race that went off very well last year as well. I would wholeheartedly ask all my colleagues to support their request for another walk this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Council McCarthy. Further discussion?
Mr. President, I'd just like to acknowledge this is last year was their 20th year. This will be 21 years that they'll be doing this walk. Very impressive.
Thank you, Council Pelletier. Council Prevey?
Point of order, Mr. President. Motion needs to be made. One was not made.
I'm sorry. I make a motion for approval.
Okay. Motion for approval for the cancer walk, North Shore Cancer Walk. On discussion, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Further petitions, Council Pelletier.
Request from the Freemasons to reserve 4 parking spaces in front of 70 Washington Street to hold the Red Cross blood drives in 2011 on February 16th April 13th, June 15th, and August 18th, and December 14th.
Council Pelletier.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Martin contacted me last year. They had a couple of these blood drives out in front, and they were successful. So obviously, they want another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I would like to move for approval tonight. And I'm sure the city clerk will get with Jim Hacker in the parking department and have these meters hooded and for the Red Cross van.
Council McCarthy made a motion to, Council Pelletier made a motion to request, to approve the request from the Freemasons for the parking spaces. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Further petitions?
We have a long list of licenses: public guides, junk dealers, seaworms, secondhand clothing, secondhand valuables, and tag days.
Is there a division of the question?
Council Lovely?
Together.
I'll yield to the councilor.
Move that they be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
Council Lovely moves that they be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
Just the public guide
Discussion?
section, correct?
Oh,
Well, we'll refer them all in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we'll keep that part in.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Further petitions?
We have a list of taxi operators.
Move they be granted.
Council Lovely. Council Lovely moves the granted. Discussion?
Yeah, you get that many cans?
All those in favor? Further petitions?
We have 3 taxi operator licenses that were denied.
Council Lovely.
Move they be denied.
Council Lovely moves that the 3 taxi operated licenses be denied. Under discussion? No. All those in favor? Opposed? Further petitions?
We have 5 claims.
Council Lovely.
Move they be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
So Lovely move that they be referred to Committee on Ordinance and Licensed Legal Affairs. All those in favor? Opposed?
We have 2 bonds, a constable bond and a sign bond.
Council Lovely.
Move they be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, and return approved.
Council Lovely moves that the following bonds be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, Licensed Legal Affairs, and returned approved. All those in favor? Opposed? Council Pelletier.
Before we get to unfinished business, can I have a little personal privilege in regards to an upcoming meeting?
Council Pelletier would like a point of personal privilege.
Thank you. There will be a meeting, Government Services co-post with the Committee of the Whole on the new installation of water meters on Tuesday, the 18th, 6:30. I just want to get it out there because it's a late posting. I don't really have many answers, but the consultants from the meter company and the installation company, they will be here with our city engineer, Dave Knowlton. Julie Rose, our water registrar, will be here, and we'll be taping it for SATV, for the folks at home, to run it several times so people understand what this new water meter program is. It's probably important to most, understanding how it's going to work, how they're going to be installed in their house. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Pelletier. Unfinished business?
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, parking prohibited West Circle.
Councilor O'Keefe.
It's been moved for second and final passage of the ordinance on West Circle.
Any discussion?
None?
None. Councilor O'Keefe moves for adoption, second final passage for the ordinance amending traffic parking prohibited on West Circle. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Further unfinished business?
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic parking unmetered zone Boston Street.
Councilor Sargent, can you take this?
For council.
For Councilor Sosnowski? Just second
The
passage.
second and
I
final.
just move for second and final passage, thank you.
Councilor Sargent moves for second passage of a traffic parking unmetered zone on Boston Street. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
Mr. President,
Council Lovely?
point of personal privilege.
Point of personal privilege?
I'd like to say happy birthday to the dean. It's his
Happy
birthday today.
Mr.
Happy
President-
birthday, Counselor O'Keefe.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Mr. President, I was born on Friday the 13th in a snowstorm, my mother told me, in Peabody Hospital. J.B. Thomas was the municipal hospital at the time. And I tell everybody I was born at night, but not last night.
We know that.
JB
Thank you.
Thomas.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Many years. Any more? Move for adjournment.
Counselor O'Keefe moves for adjournment. All those in favor? Unanimous.
Unanimous.
Good job,
Jerry. Good job.
Good job, Counselor Ryan. Mr. President.
We never had meetings that short when Council McCarthy was up there.
Hey, 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 hey. I'm still here.
When you go to Boston tonight, I know. Go treat yourself to some clubs over there or something?
Better do something when they dig up Derby Street, I'll tell you.